We're all here for Black History Month open mic night, Dreams and Nightmares. Make some noise. All right, our first performer, we're just going to jump right into it because we're running behind schedule, is my boy, Tobi. We're in all black and red. Let's get it.
Okay, so I'll actually be performing two. This very first one is called A Black Man's Culture. Not every black guy is a thug. And sometimes all a black guy needs is a hug from a compassionate, passionate woman who's not passive about her actions, but takes time to get the hardest questions asking. You be this woman and you'll see that most men are just boys masking. These boys, they love to play ball and girls. They want to be like Jordan, so they wear them. But their laces are always untied, yet they run through the court of life thinking that they're shooters. Someone please tell Kelly we don't need any more machine guns. What we need to do is lace up. A black man could be sharper than his shape-ups. Our different shapes shapes us, which takes us to a place that makes us embrace our mistakes and make up our character and embrace our faces, even if it means we need braces. Face it. These phases of racist debates engrave in our brains and makes us feel less than that which we're made for. Take 5 because I need a break from these dramatic mindsets. You see, the violence between Crips and Bloods was as disgusting as washing your crib in blood. This is just gang talk for the gangsters that can't walk without their pants hanging around like Hancock, their hands always under cock because they can't talk to a girl without trying to get in her pants first. Yet, there's an undeniable unity if you've ever seen a Blood doing the Crip walk. If I know anything about Crips or power rule, it's that power rules that spark their coward moves, and where there's money, there's power, and where there's power, there's respect. But the man that has the most power yet is the one that has knowledge. And you can't but credit this to the ones doing the white work, the white boys who became lawyers and doctors because they refused to solve the problems through a black Glock. The ones that will put you on trial for murder, yet treat you in a hospital if you ever got shot. But sometimes it seems like a black man's brain hangs lower than his genes. And God has placed in our genes a whole bunch of dreams that should be on never-ending themes, but it seems like we're trading these things for things. And it makes us fit in a stereotype that a black man is just the stereotype. Like, the songs you listen to on the stereo determines the type of man that you are. So our hip-hop, hardcore, boom, bap moves us back to a time where all we moved was crack. And we don't care because you don't care. We don't care because you weren't there when our sons and daughters were facing bail or trying to prevail over life's travails. And in your eyes, we're still your slaves because a white police officer can whip and chain any and every black man that owns a whip or a chain. But it's not your fault. And I apologize if my culture seems more like a cult. But I refuse to be a thug. I refuse to be that which I wasn't meant to be. I refuse to be unplugged from my society. See, sometimes I wonder if Oscar Grant would have ever been granted an Oscar. It seems like black men don't often receive rewards. And some of my black friends don't even know who Oscar was. I mean, I once had a friend who didn't know who Malcolm X is. Maybe it's because he was too busy dealing with all his exes. Baby mamas and baby daddies, crack babies turn our balls into Krabby Patties, a misinterpretation of black power. Black Panthers who panted after bland water. It's the aftermath of swimming in bad water, but please, don't throw our black boys away because they are just babies. It's that culture that's the bathwater. And my second piece is the Hoodrat's new clothes. Out of the darkness, there shines a bright light. It's a hope for a generation filled with dark nights. We pour the blood in our hard hearts to these cold streets, making our rhythms uneven and causing our hearts to skip beats. The streets where we skip stones, hopscotched, and broke bones, becomes a bloodthirsty vampire. Each hood its own empire run by stupid emperors who always want to be the best dressed, have the best girls, and be the best blessed. Blessed. But alas, these last leaders want to be the last led, so the money, drugs, sex, clothes get into their big heads. So captivated by their captures, they believe that looks equivalent to success. Right. Be the best dressed. They got Jordans and a Glock 9, but they hide burdens and did not find. Unshaven faces match the scruffiness of their hearts. Still, they think they're the finest of wheat. Yes, they probably have the finest of weed, but in a bouquet of flowers, they're the toughest of weeds. Thorns, pressing on fleshes, tormenting precious gems, pressing down on presents, so full with hatred from the past, they forget what present tense was. It's intense. How their bad grammar itches my ears. All this talk about gear, grinds, grains, corrupts brains, corruption locks their brains in jail cells. It's so secular. How young jubilees end up in juvenile. There's an evil of seeing under the sun. Princes walking amongst slaves and servants riding on horses, playing polo with Ralph Lauren, mismatched sports with Jordans, chilling in the front steps of mom's crib, claiming everything good in the hood, cover their lives with hoodies, snacking on munchies and goodies. They hired a retired retard to be their best friends, stealing right underneath their noses only to call it dice games, telling you to make loot and determine your whole fortune by six-faced cubes. And what are these swindlers doing? They've come to ruin an already run-down town by making the emperor run downtown to buy an invisible gown to cause his pawns to ponder on the possibility that they may be playing for a stupid king, riding horses around the castle when he really should be praying with the bishop. This is not a chess game, but please think before you make your next move. Out of the dull streets, there shines a bright light, and it only takes a bright child who's brave enough to point out the nakedness of these young boys, running around with their drawers drawn, hiding 45s, AKs, pistols. His real name is Kevin Okwesi, a.k.a. KK? The Hoodrat's new clothes only leave him naked, and thankfully, I am that boy pointing it out.